So the Global Climate Highlight presents effectively the first snapshot of what the climate of 2025 has been. And the data we have now at the beginning of January indicate that 2025 has been one of the 3 warmest years on record, in particular the third warmest, by a very small fraction of a degree. We are talking about 0.01 degrees cooler than 2023, which is the second, and a tenth and a half of a degree cooler than 2024, that, as we know, has been the warmest year on record.
Is effectively that the average of the temperature of the last 3 years is above 1.5. Is the first group of 3.
What the reality of the finding tell us is that the last 3 years together are the first 3 years above 1.5, meaning that we are getting closer and closer to the 1.5 degrees threshold defined by Paris, which, as we know, is an average over 20 years or so.
That is above saturation. And if we continue the warming trend that we have seen over the last 10 years to reduce the risk associated, the climate risk associated with high temperature, it means that
we have done an amazing job. The quality of the air in Europe, for instance, has improved massively over the last 20 years. Now, climate change is a different problem, and in a sense a much more complex problem to tackle. Nonetheless, we do have the knowledge, we do have the data describing the climate, and this should be the guide for our action. So if our goal is to limit the increase in temperature, then we do know that the best tool available is to reduce the emissions. And the sooner we reduce the emission, the more we can mitigate the risk associated with high temperature.
And
we are all on the same planet, and we need the data coming from all sorts of regions, Asia, US, America, South America, Africa, and so on and so forth. So ensuring that data will keep flowing and will keep being made, taken observation, is really important to understand where we are going. So I think this needs to be safeguarded. On the other hand, if we look at the solution, it's clear that climate change is a global problem, and as such require global solution. And the global solution in terms of climate change means having a multilateral binding agreement on the emissions.
what we promised ourselves to do 10 years ago has not been respected.